Oof, what a question. You're saying you're starting us off. This is the hardest question you could possibly ask.
Let's start off soft. What is, just in general, your favorite Marvel production?
Oof, what a question. You're saying you're starting us off. This is the hardest question you could possibly ask.
I know.
I would say I was a big fan of Iron Man when that first came out. I was a huge still I'm a huge Robert Downey Jr. fan, and seeing him get Tony Stark was a pretty high coup. And watching how he portrayed, I remember going to see it in the theater. I was very blown away by
it. There's so many Marvel movies I love. I ended up watching like all of them in order before leading up to filming, which was fun. But yeah, it's got to be like Black Panther or Thor 3, directed by Taika Waititi, or like, I don't know. There's too many. It's a hard question.
Nice. I love all of that. So whatever you would answer, I knew that it would be a totally different feel or feeling and movie or series than Echo, obviously, because the style and the tone is like super unique, I would say. And also it continues what Ms. Marvel and Moon Knight kind of did. They really dive into different cultures, which I personally love. So maybe for the first question about Echo, what does it mean to you, both of you personally, to explore the Native American culture, and how authentic is it actually represented?
Oh God, first of all, it's authentically, they had the best people working on there, the coordinators, everyone. What's it mean to me? Oh, it's huge. It's pretty huge. It's not that long ago that natives were playing themselves in TV and movies. It's not that long ago we weren't. So having a big production like Marvel come in and cast native actors, native talent, native writers, directors, I think it's a milestone in a production like this for a studio like this. And the story is about family, indigenous family, but anyone can relate to that. So, I'm very very grateful, very honored that I was able to participate as much as I can in this production, because it's a big deal.
It definitely feels like a big deal. I know that Native kids everywhere, and myself included, were waiting for the day that we could see a Native American superhero or anti-hero or Marvel project in general. So to be able to have Echo is something that just, it means so much. And like, I've always known how cool Native people are. Like, I grew up in a community and so full of pride for being Mohawk, but to be able to work with the Choctaw Nation and to make sure that their culture and community and language and artists from that nation are being represented in the show is an honor to be able to portray.
So in the past, we've already met, let's say, the main characters of Maya and Wilson Fisk, but we don't know your characters yet. So can you talk a little bit about Bonnie and Henry and how they link back to Maya?
Yeah, I played the character Bonnie, who is really close with Maya growing up. Technically, while they're cousins, they're closer and they're more like sisters. And that sisterhood and that love between them ended up being severed as Maya ended up going to New York. And so through Echo, even though Maya's coming back for reasons of doing crimes, she also is coming back to a reconnection with her community and with her family. And so through this series, Bonnie and Maya are able to find a way to move forward through their relationship and repair that. And we get to see a glimpse of who Maya is behind the tough exterior when it comes to her relationship with Bonnie.
Uncle Henry is the brother of her father, who was killed in New York. So, one thing that I really was a challenge was trying to recreate that trauma of past, because she comes to this community and there's still unresolved issues with Uncle Henry and Maya. And those kind of scenes I really love, because you really get into the drama and explain how the trauma happens with their relationship. And, as an actor, I love those scenes. I love the grit of that. And it was fun working with Alakwa on those scenes. And I learned a lot working with her. So I'm really excited for people to see it.
Another thing that is represented in Echo is sign language. Did you have to learn American Sign Language for this? How was that for you? I bet that's challenging.
It was challenging, but the payoff, I mean, you can't put that in a bottle. It does feel good to know that you've learned a skill and continue to learn a skill that can communicate with people, also help people. And her representation of the ASL community, you got to give your hats off to Marvel when it comes to that. You know, they've done a pretty good job of bringing all this diversity into this production. And you know, I have to say, I'm still very honored to be a part of it.
Same. I'm a hearing person, and I hadn't had the chance to learn ASL before this project, Echo, but it was always something I wanted to do. I've continued after. I'm still learning ASL, and I was honored to be able to work with Douglas Ridloff, as we all did, who is the ASL master and one of the producers on Echo. The deaf community is so rich and beautiful and has a lot of humor, and I think we get to explore a lot of that throughout Echo in a way that's still a human story. It doesn't feel like we're checking boxes. It feels like we're honoring this person's story and existence in a really fascinating, gritty family drama.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. For the next question, I would like to get a little bit more nerdy. So for the last couple of years, fans have been wondering with the arrival or the reintroduction, I have to say, of Wilson Fisk, right? Have you talked to Vincent or anybody else on set if this character is actually the same character from the Daredevil series, or is it like a variant, or who knows what else? Can you share anything about this?
If you want to learn more about Fisk, I think you're going to have to tune in to
Exactly.
watching Echo on January 10th on Disney Plus and Hulu.
There we go.
Why did I have a feeling you would say something like this? What is the number one reason for everybody to actually go and watch Echo? Just one reason. You have to decide on one thing.
Alakwa Cox. That's it. Yeah. I think we have a star in the making, and I think people are going to be really blown away by her. And I'm not, almost said a curse word, not lying to you. Yeah, you should really check her out. She's phenomenal, and I think the audience is going to really love her. And by the way, she's really sweet.
Yes.
Wow, you're taking the next questions. I was going to ask you about working with Alakwa and also Vincent, but maybe let's make this a more general question, because I felt like while watching the first 3 episodes that there's like a great chemistry going on in the cast. I think you can really sense that. So how was the mood in general on set, and how was it different to other productions that you've worked on?
There was definitely a language barrier going into it. Being hearing people, we want to make sure that we're able to bridge that gap and be able to communicate with Alakwa. Not only did we have ASL interpreters, but we also had Indigenous ASL interpreters on set. And I think a lot of the chemistry you're feeling is attributed to all of the work that everyone did. I know that playing Bonnie, I wanted to make sure, because Maya and Bonnie are so close in their relationship, that you could really feel that history. And so we spent time together. We would do little exercises and things to make sure that we had these memories that we shared. And also it was a lot of work of making sure we put in the effort to communicate, to go to ASL classes, to work on our lines, so that it wasn't us speaking different languages, but us being able to meet as actors and as people.
All right. And then I would come to my final question for you, which would be, what is the heart and the essence of this show?
Family.
Yeah, family.
Family is the heart and essence of Echo.
I was going to say it's the heart and essence of everything, but yes, it is for Echo as well. All right. Thank you so much. I can't wait for the whole world to see the both of you in the show and experience this adventure. So thank you again, and I wish you a great day.